Hi everyone, this is Amanda Ellis of amandaellis.co.uk, Facebook page Angelic Celestial Colours, YouTube channel Amanda Ellis 11. Today is the 6th of September, Wednesday the 6th of September 2017. I just uploaded a video onto YouTube yesterday, the September Archangel Metatron video, and I think I said on that I would be speaking to you at the end of September, but I've woken up this morning with some information that Metatron says I've just got to get out there really quickly. So I'm going to do a quick video. I'm going to try and keep it shorter than my normal videos because it needs to be live today and upload speed is so slow. So I'm going to cut to the chase of what the message is. It concerns some guidance with regard to Hurricane Irma. It also concerns some guidance from Ashtar as well as Metatron. And before I get to any of that, I want to talk a little bit about gifts of divination, okay? Because those of you that have watched my Metatron September video know that right at the end of that video, sort of unexpectedly, I got the message, I kept hearing the number 3, and I gave an attempt to interpret that for you, all of which is still valid. However, there was a part of it that I pulled back from talking about because I wasn't quite sure, and I needed to be sure before I said anything. And the message hasn't gone away, basically. So 3 is also linking into a lot of things, but it's also linking into 3 events which are to take place, feeling very much back to back, okay? And we may have already had one of them in terms of Hurricane Harvey, or it may be that is set apart from it. I'm not quite sure, and I'm going to be honest with you there. But I know there are 3 events back to back, and I was asking Metatron about, well, why have you told me that? You know, why am I getting these types of information coming through all of a sudden? Because I also got the guidance with regard to the flooding that we've seen on the solar eclipse, and it does feel as though this upgrade, effectively, of seeing something in the future has come in since the eclipse. And what he said to me is that it's not just me, that a number of you probably watching this have also been upgraded in terms of your intuition, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your clairsentience. However it is that you experience spirit or hear spirit or feel spirit or see spirit. And there are many reasons for this, but it's also, I just think, quite timely, because we've obviously got a debate raging in spiritual circles at the moment about whether the divination by nature is even something we should be getting into, you know, predicting the future. And when I made the video, there's a few videos that I'm assuming you've watched of mine. One is the Doreen Virtue video, one is the Earth Changes video, and the other one is the Metatron September video. If you haven't watched those, some of what I'm saying is going to be out of context, but I've just got to make the points today and get this video out. When I was making the Doreen Virtue video, I was looking for this little book, and this is a copy of the New Testament that was given to me, I don't know, I think when I started school, by the Gideons, okay? And what I was wanting to use it for is that it has a daily reading. Each day of the year has a reading, and I just thought it'd be interesting to read whatever the passage was for the day I made that video. Couldn't find it anywhere. Anyway, a few days after making that video, I did find it. It was actually just beside my bed, behind my bed really. And I thought, oh, that's a shame, didn't get to use that. Opened it up, and would you believe, I opened it up at this page, and can you see it's actually got highlighted text in orange, interestingly. And I have no idea when I highlighted that text. I don't remember doing it. But the passage that has been highlighted there by me at some point in the past is Corinthians 12, and it's passages, it's verses 4 to 11. I'm going to read it to you. And I have been accused of cherry picking which bits of the Bible I'm referring to. It's not about cherry picking. You can see very clearly this is a message from Spirit. I'm going to read this to you, and even if you're not Christian, please just bear with me because it's really important, this. It says, there are different kinds of spiritual gifts, but the same Spirit. There are different kinds of service, but the same Lord. There are different kinds of working, but the name of God works all of them in all men. Now to each man the manifestation of the Spirit is given for the common good. To one there is given through the Spirit the ability to speak with wisdom. To another the ability to speak with knowledge by means of the same Spirit. To another faith by the same Spirit. To another gifts of healing by that one Spirit. To another miraculous powers. To another prophecy. To another the ability to distinguish between spirits. To another the ability to speak in different kinds of tongues, and to still another the interpretation of tongues. All these are the work of the same Spirit, and he gives them to each man just as he determines. To me, it's like my jaw just fell open when I read that, because it was such confirmation. And I know some will disagree with me, but this is my interpretation. It's what my belief system is, and I know it resonates with a lot of you watching, which is that we are given these gifts by God, and that God is the God of many faiths as well, and we are meant to be using them, okay? And Metatron is telling me this morning that these gifts of divination are going to increase in many of us at this time. It's almost as though at the moment there is this fight, as I say, between is it okay, is it not okay to predict the future? And these are God-given gifts. If you look back again into the Bible, there are warnings all over the place, you know. Noah was warned to go and build the ark, wasn't he? You know, God gives warnings sometimes through man to help the wider humanity, okay? And these aren't just given to one person, they're given to many people. And I feel it's Spirit's answer to the question, which is actually, well, we don't even want to talk about it anymore. We're just going to give you the gifts. And the gifts are going to become so obvious that you can't doubt them anymore, okay? So I'm saying that because I think it's very important. And I want to also just read a comment that came on my YouTube page from William. Thank you, William. And he said this: I was holding up this card, man holding a coin, okay? This is from the September video. And what William pointed out to us is that the man is holding an I Ching coin. And he said, gifts of divination are given to increase. No, sorry, that's not that. So I told you this was unprepared. I wasn't expecting to be doing this. This is William's comment. Thank you for this. One of the things that caught my eye regarding the man holding the coin card was that the coin he's holding is an I Ching coin. Not only is, of course, this a symbol of prosperity and abundance, but the I Ching is often used as a divination tool. For me, it pointed to kind of an acceptance of the abundance of insight and support that comes through using such things as oracle, tarot, runes and I Ching as a tool of connection with the divine. It kind of jumped out at me as a symbol of reconciliation after the shake-up that a lot of people have had over the past fortnight, and a reminder to trust in our personal connection to the decks or any other tools we are using for readings. Great comment, okay? Really like that. I wanted to share that with you. Moving on to Irma, okay, Hurricane Irma, which is coming in, maybe one of the three that Metatron is talking about. Well, it is one of the three. I wanted to read another very inspiring quote or comment that was left on my YouTube channel yesterday, I think. This is a lady. I don't think you gave your name, so I'm sorry. It's just a short little post, and she says this to all of us, to anybody that's in the path of that hurricane, okay? These were her words to you. And she says, as a survivor of Katrina, I lost everything And in the end, it didn't matter. It was just material possessions. The most intensely beautiful part of the disaster was that people risked everything to help each other. The soul is indestructible, and sometimes it is challenged to grow. There were people who did die in the flood, but I would never pray for my own safety before I would pray for the safety of others first. Isn't that beautiful? And I really think that that can teach us so much. And it is so true that ultimately it's lives that matter. Material possessions can be replaced, or if they can't be replaced, then the society in which you live needs to come together to help those who can't replace what has been lost. One other thing about this 3 that I keep seeing is I'm wondering whether Metatron is saying to us that at the moment the path of the hurricane is looking like it's a category 5, it's hitting the Caribbean at the moment. I'm wondering whether at a collective level we can try to affirm that it comes down to at least a force 3, okay? Because the reality is it's not going to disappear. It is something that has been set in motion, and Ashtar's got something to say on that in a moment. But I am wondering whether we can, I believe we can, change the ferocity of it. That's why this is so time sensitive. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that with you. Those of you that are with me and are resonating with this message, meditate on that, affirm that somehow, and believe that we can change the force of it, okay? Let's also, just before we go on to Ashtar, talk about the number 3 again. I was hearing the words to a song in my head this morning. I think it's a band called Blind Melon. Very bizarre. I think it's a children's song actually, and the song is 3 is a magic number. Now, and the words to that song, 3 is a magic number, include a few interesting examples of 3. 3 is linked to past, present and future. 3 is linked to faith, hope and charity. And 3 is also linked to heart, brain and body. That's what the words to the song say. But if that resonates, check out the song. It's a very upbeat, happy song actually. Because I do believe that whatever happens, even when we are faced with very, very challenging, difficult times, like this beautiful comment from this lady who survived Hurricane Katrina, something beautiful can come out of it as well, something magical, people pulling together, people remembering that they are actually human, you know, that they aren't just these creatures of a mass society that's over-marketed and, you know, blah, blah, blah. They are at heart a soul, you know, and souls recognise each other and souls help each other. The guidance from Metatron is to take heedance of the official guidance that's coming out, to evacuate where you can, to look after the animals. There was a lot of stuff in the news after Harvey that people left their pets behind. If you've got a car and you're driving out of somewhere, you've got room for your dog or your cat or your hamster or whatever animal it is. And if you haven't, ask somebody else to take it for you. You don't leave the animals behind. The animals are part of this, and the animals need safety just as much as a human being does. That's coming through very, very strongly. Metatron is also saying how we behave in a disaster says something about us at a fundamental level. So if you are selfishly grabbing as much supplies as you can to the detriment of your neighbour that goes into a supermarket and finds empty shelves and there's nothing left, that doesn't reflect very well on you from a spiritual perspective. I'm talking from a spiritual perspective. That's common sense, I think, to be honest. But it is something to remember, because in times of disaster, what happens is we go back into fight and flight response, and we can sometimes forget our spiritual side. And this is where really the soul needs to guide this process, okay? So definitely Metatron is saying how we behave in a disaster says something about us. It's also about what do we learn from that, like that beautiful comment from that lady. It also is about how other people respond. So, you know, if you're a light worker, you need to be creating some space to send some positive intentions and prayers to this situation in the world now, you know, particularly in America and the Caribbean islands. Metatron is concerned about the Caribbean islands because it's almost as though they're the first hit. They are not as well resourced maybe to be able to withstand it. I really ask that you send protection to those islands in particular, okay? Right, I'm looking down because I've written notes today. The other thing that was coming through with Metatron is he was talking about the ancestors and how, you know, call on the strength of your ancestors at this time. As I was thinking about making this video this morning, I looked out onto my washing line and there's a little robin, you know, and to me robins are always a sign of people that have passed over, you know, ancestors coming back just to say hello. So the ancestors know that this is a difficult time as well. And this thing about past, present, future, the past can help us in the present moment with whatever's happening to build the new future, okay? So if we've got the ancestors as past, if we have Metatron as a present energy, Ashtar to me, he is obviously present, but he feels futuristic, okay? Futuristic definitely in terms of the fact that not many people work with him yet, they don't understand his energy, and what he represents, which is the galactic beings and the galactic friends that are out there for us. Although many of us are connecting with them, they haven't revealed themselves yet on a wide scale to humanity. Disclosure has not yet happened. It will happen. I believe it will happen in my lifetime, but it hasn't happened yet, okay? So, yeah, we've got the ancestors past, we've got Metatron present, and Metatron's all about the present moment. And we've got Ashtar coming in, holding what he, I just want to hold this, okay? I put this out in the moonlight last night. This is my crystal skull. This was in the prelude to the full moon. He is saying, his energy, well, with Metatron, they both are sort of together in this video, but Ashtar wants to say that he's holding the blueprint for the new future for the universe, not just our Earth, for the universe. He is wanting us to remember our place within the cosmos and within the greater universe. And he is reminding us that whatever storms are going on planet Earth, whether they be in the form of, you know, water, fire, wind, as in the case of Irma, that these type of storms are happening elsewhere on different planets within the greater universe, within the solar system that we understand, and within many planetary bodies that we don't even know exist. And he's talking about how creation happens, creation of new planets, creation of new worlds. They come through often in, I don't really want to use the word violent, but that's the word he's giving me, violent beginnings. You know, the way that stars are formed, the way that stars die. It's not a process that is sometimes gentle. It can be, because the universe by nature isn't something that can be contained. So we are a star, planet Earth is a star, and she operates upon the same principles as any other star that's out there. And the way, and so he's asking us to just remember, it's almost like a message of reassurance coming from him, which is that what is happening here on Earth is also happening in other places too, in the wider galaxy, to know that we are not alone, to know that many galactic beings are watching over us as they watch over other planets, other stars, that what is happening at this time in quick succession is very much to do with bringing in something that in the future you will look back on and realize was part of the cleansing process, was part of the rebuilding of a new earth, the old making way for the new. He's also talking about recognizing the, just get the word right, he's talking about people's souls here. Connecting to the starlight within people's souls, not just the human experience that we tag onto it. So when those that pass over, and this is true for any time in life, not just during natural disaster, that we hook into the human identity which we have known that soul to be, you know, they are, you know, Anna or Fred or George or whatever it is, and they were this age and they look like that and they did this for a living. But he's reminding us that that is just a tag, it's a label, it's a suit that soul has put on. And it isn't really the truth of what, well, it's part of the truth of what that person was, but the deeper, wider truth is that that soul is made up of the wider cosmos and it can never die. And it will go where it needs to go next on its travels, whether it's back into an incarnation on Earth, or whether it's back to a planetary home, or whatever the journey is of that soul, it's all taken care of. So what we're viewing as tragedy and disaster down here at higher dimensional level is part of the grander workings, the orchestration of the universe, doing what the universe does. And each soul, each one of us, is part of that. We are not separate from that. Yeah. Let's just see if there's anything else he wants to say. I'm going to spray. Oh, there is something else he wants to say. This came through very unexpectedly to me a few days ago. Didn't really understand what it meant at the time, but I do now. I'm spraying silver, okay? I'm spraying silver, and I'm wanting you to use silver at this time as a colour energy that is very protective. And it was such a strange thing, such a random thing to see when I sprayed silver the other day, but I have to now say it to you, which is that I saw myself in, you know, astronauts, and they wear those really protective suits, you know, with the full mask, and they're attached to the mothership, aren't they? And what I was shown is that because we're all being a bit shaken up at the moment on this world, but equally the cosmos, the wider universe is shaking up. It's like it's moving, it's evolving, as it always does, but we're noticing it more at the moment. It's like he was saying, Ashtar was saying, put on your protective astronaut suit, okay? Now, obviously that's symbolic. It's something to use in meditation. And what I was shown was this silver suit, which I was wearing, which was protective around me. I could see where I was going. I was also attached by a silver cord to Earth, showing that I'm not going anywhere at the moment. I'm here to stay. And it's as though you can float freely within that universe, even if there are things coming at you, you know, there are storms around you, it keeps you safe in some way. So again, if that resonates, please take it and meditate on it and just think on that, because that was divinely given as well. And I know it's random, but I'm going to give it. I was shown it, okay? All right, I think that is probably it. I would like to end with a prayer, okay? I'd like to end with a prayer. And we are going to send the prayers to God, to Source, to whatever it is that you believe in, to the Creator. And we are going to ask for their protection around our planet at this time. Protection for each one of us watching here. Protection for our communities, our earth, our land. To keep calm. To dig into our reserves of strength. to remember that we are the courageous warriors of light that we are, that we came here to help and be here at this time, that the world is not falling apart, that the world is actually trying to rebuild itself. From the ashes of the old will come the seeds and the growth of the new. Respect all upon their individual paths at this time. Lean into the support of the archangels, the galactic beings of light. They are here. They are present. And they send you love. Thank you, everybody. I think I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to get this uploaded as quickly as I can. Much love. Wish you all well, and just take it day by day.